Okay, Joanna and I were just discussing this, and this is a possible show topic. Just we're very busy today, so I'm going to leave this up to you guys to discuss this because this is a looming uh, this is a looming issue that keeps popping up, and this is going to be an unpopular thing for me to say. Which when isn't things unpopular for us to say. And this comes from Joanna as well. We were discussing this with my mother. We got an email from a person who said a psychic had told him that he was on a 20 and back, and that was the source of all of his problems. Can it be a source of problems? Yes. But unless you know that person was on a 20 and back, you do not have the right to tell them they were on a 20 and back. I personally have the skill to see that they were. I'm not dissing any of my people here. But there's a lot of trickery in the air, especially with certain alien agendas, government, psyops agendas, things of this nature. It seems to be a fad that is coming about right now. That a bunch of people everywhere are being told that they are a secret space program. I'm sorry, people, all of you are not. I know there were thousands and thousands of us taken into these programs. But there have some, the ones that are legitimate have come back very unstable. Not all of us, just some of us. Some of us are the lucky ones that have come back fully grounded. Even at times, I still have to fight some things. I have to fight the PTSD nearly every day. I have to find a way to cope with that. I have to find a way to cope with the real memories. But you cannot tell somebody that does not remember these things, or is at least not seeking that they were in the 20 and back. That is very reckless. This is where I will agree with Tony Rodriguez on this. This is very reckless. And you can plant a dangerous seed in someone's head that they're spreading around, and then they believe that for a while, and then they start spreading false information. I believe, it is my current belief, that the government has, and these programs have done this and allowed this to take place, and allowed these things, even by psychics that are unaware of this, that they're seeing this in the ether. And they're spreading this through AI garbage. They're spreading this through uh, a form of indoctrination, and they're turning this into a fad, the fad or flavor of the moment, and it's drowning out all the real cases, completely drowning out the people that need the assistance in this area. Uh, Granted, I can tell if you've been in the SSP. Real ones can tell, kind of like the Immortals on Highlander. You know, they can tell when they're around. But even not all of us get everything back. We don't always all get the marbles back in place. Sometimes the soul didn't want the experience of having it all back in place. Sometimes the soul wanted the experience of being unstable. But just know 99% of the ones that I have seen, including this guy in the email and two others that I've encountered, have been severely unstable or have come back with a shitload of disinformation that was planted in their head. Now, there are a lot of alien abductees out there that has been planted in their head. And there are also a lot of SSPs, the SSP people and veterans, that never know it and never will. And more likely, they may not even be meant to. But the ones that are meant to, the ones that walk this path of trying to get this information out, are finite. Of trying to bring this information out and trying to not only help themselves, but spreading little fires of information. And then in time, that spreads to these other people that are then seeking. You go, wait a minute, this sounds familiar to me. But please, if you are a psychic and you are a channeler, I am begging you, don't plant this seed. This is a very specific thing. You have to look in their timeline. If you see a loop in their timeline, that means they've had a 20 and back sometime in their childhood. I very rarely see that loop. And I will see ones that are scrunched in their timeline, kind of like an ovular shape, not round. When I see that that tells me it's still an active 20 back. And also if I see an entanglement coming out of their back, like a big energy rush coming out of their back, that is a major entanglement. Don't imagine seeing this just because I've said this. Don't let that influence your sessions. And I'm asking you now that this cannot be done. Also, within the context of this email, Joanna, my mother, and I were discussing this. This could be somebody also that was planted to be able to be a distractor agent to keep latching on, like what I said on Interstellar Council, when people keep sending thoughts, they open portals. That happens quite fervently. That is actually more frequently than the actual SSP veteran population, where the aliens have programmed somebody to do this. I felt fervently that that person was an alien abductee. That is more common than people think. It's, the ones that they're beginning to remember this stuff for SSP or alien abduction is actually slightly rare, or it's coming out in more or less in emotions and emotional bursts. Emotions come first, of course. Now I'm talking about something very important. There's distractions that are building around the car here. We're sitting in a parking lot. There was even angry distractions that I was even going to even mention this. And the fact that the download came while we were out is no accident either, because that was set up that way to frustrate the ever holy bejeebus out of us. Don't care. It is being said right now. And what we were discussing was that even even if something could be very wrong with the person, and they are programming the person to believe these things, that does happen. And I'm not poo-pooing this entire process. I would be the last person to do this. But you can't just go around as a psychic saying 20 back, 20 back, 20 back. You cannot, if somebody has it has been made mentally unstable by entity or alien influences or government or voice to skull influences, the last thing you want to do to them is wave the 20 and black flag. What you do is you look for the core of the problem inside themselves. Why did the 20 and back occur to them on that soul level? If you can dig around and look for that during their session, fine. But then if they ask, that is the key word. If if they ask about some of these things, or if you feel that it is prevalent to the conversation, say you may have been part of this. I am not completely certain, but if you see that loop in their energy, that's usually a certainty that they've been in some time travel issue or program or cloning or something. So I am asking you, as one psychic and one channeler and one type of person like this to another, please do not wave the 20 and back flag. You are doing the cause a very big disservice by convincing a bunch of people out there that they have been in this. You're basically creating a bunch of distractor agents that think that they're what they've experienced, what happened in their lives, was part of that. And more than likely than not, it was alien abduction. Also, when people think that they've had a position of importance in the secret space program, oh, I was this big general, they relied on me so much. No, you were a slave. You were a slave. When I got a lot of my memories back, I realized how unimportant to them I really truly was. These people are evil. Granted, I told some of these Nazis and some of these others to go F themselves, and was punished quite a bit for doing that. They never broke me. They tried to add programming. They tried to do all this. They tried to keep track of me over the years. But they've never broken me. I've seen so many shattered versions of us, it's not even funny. Even some homeless people that are out there are versions of us that are shattered and their minds all fucked up. That said, there are very few that come back stable. And there are so many that have triggered programming and programming that can be triggered so easily. And there are some that are in MK Ultra type programs that are made to commit crimes, like the current shooting. I'm not denigrating. I'm not declaring the person correct for what he did. Far from it. I feel for these children, and but I also know that this person was abducted and thrown into a program. That is my theory, based on the behavior. I did not personally know the person. That is a theory based on the behavior, because I know these government agencies program a lot of these people to commit these crimes. That said, he's still guilty of it, and hopefully in death he finds some peace. But those children, remember, are also the victims. You have to feel more so for them. That said, we count ourselves amongst the lucky ones that we came back stable. I've had my moments where my mental resolve slips and I slip into a crazy mode. I've had this. It is very hard to keep the stable, grounded line. Very difficult. You see me calm right now. I have to remain calm, just like what was said on Interstellar Council when the Force people came in and used the word analam, meaning calm. Even saying the word analam helps that. So if there's any SSP veterans listening to this, use that word, analam, the calm, or calm. Find the calm space. Learn meditative techniques. Don't be afraid your programming is going to be triggered. Step outside of the program and see it disintegrating and dying. Even if you have to listen to the music that triggered that programming, like if it's Omega programming, or if it's like say a song like say the Moonlight Sonata's one, or whatever song you think will trigger this. Listen to it from beginning to end, or whatever video or whatever thing or phrase or words that triggered this. Have somebody say them to you from beginning to end. You get through this while remaining in the calm, you have killed the programming. I know this for a fact. They even presented this on the show Falcon and the Winter Soldier, when the Winter Soldier is having, and Bucky's having his programming triggered and taken down. Once every word in that programming was completed, he was free. It works. That was true. Pay attention to this. Go through this. And my fellow psychics, please, watch your words. Watch what you're picking up on. And there's beings very angry at me right now for even saying this. I could feel their seething hatred right now. Please, watch your words. I'm not ripping you a new one. I respect you immensely, but in our community, both SSP and psychic alike and channel alike have been heavily controlled, especially by beings that don't have your highest good at heart, including military, including dark Syrian beings, dark Orion type beings, all of it. And even the government started the New Age movement to include some of this propagandic type thing. I'm not saying some of the philosophies are wrong. Some of the philosophies are wrong. No, I follow them. And I follow the metaphysical ways of doing things, or else I would be less sane than now. As you would see, I said less sane. So, with that said, watch the beings you're speaking to. Watch your words. Watch what you're discerning. If it doesn't feel right, go for it. Don't just say, oh, it's love and light. Step back. Critically think this out. Feel this out. And to my fellow SSP veterans, analam, calm. Find a way to get rid of that programming. Don't give in to it. That's the best thing you can do. So, I'm going to leave this here. We're sitting in a parking lot. I think I'm getting etheric attention from other places. And also I feel military has harassed us a bit over these very issues because they want some of these things not to get out. So I'm going to end this here, folks. I thank you. This would probably should be a show topic at some point, or this could be like a Q&A type of topic. But I will put this free on the YouTube. If people were wondering where our Q&As went, I've had to put this in our subscription because not only the cancel issue, that's the minor issue, but but what has been done with some of the information in some of the older questions were touted by beings that we cannot trust anymore. So I may go back in, revet those, and re-answer them myself, and only utilize beings, of course, we can trust fully and completely, and it's for our highest good and highest vibrations. So I will end this here. It is 11:01 a.m. Wednesday, May 25th, 2022. Thank you.